Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Christine here. If you are new, I am a homeschooling mama of 3 children, and here at this homeschool house, I share homeschool content that is hopefully encouraging and helpful to other homeschool mamas or potential homeschool mamas. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make homeschooling more affordable. Before I get stuck into the content of this video, I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel and follow me over on Instagram, where I kind of share a little bit more behind the scenes and what homeschooling looks like for us on a day-to-day basis. But without further ado, let's get talking about how to make homeschooling more affordable, because the reality is you do have to spend some money in order to homeschool your children, whatever form of homeschooling that is, whether it's unschooling, classical, Charlotte Mason. I mean, it doesn't matter what style you choose, indirectly or directly, you're still spending money to teach your children. And so I want to talk about ways to make it more affordable, because I think at the moment there have been a lot of people thrown into homeschooling their children, and it's daunting thinking about how to afford it when you weren't budgeting that. And I just want to share some things that have helped us as a family to afford to homeschool, and things that I think will really benefit you. So the number one thing that I found to really save money for our family is to buy PDF versions of whichever curriculum you're looking at. Now, not all curriculums offer this, but many do, and it really can save a lot of money. So the benefits of buying the PDF version is that you can have it printed and you can use that for multiple students. So for instance, I bought the pre-K curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful, and I used it with my son, and now I'm using it with my daughter, but all I had to do was reprint it. I didn't have to actually go out and buy the curriculum again. So if you're wondering about printing costs, that's what I'm going to talk about next, and I'm going to introduce the sponsor of this video. I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. It is a wonderful opportunity to work with them. Family Nest Printing reached out to me and asked if I would work with them, and I was thrilled because I had heard their company name mentioned many times in homeschool groups on Facebook that I'm a part of, and it's always been with great reviews and recommendations. And so I am so pleased to be able to talk a bit about them and share their company with you, because I think that their whole philosophy of why they started their business and what they're doing for the homeschool community is just brilliant. So they are a family, a fellow homeschool family with 6 children who decided to start their own printing company in order to help other homeschool families print resources. Because if you get a PDF document from whichever curriculum that you're using, and it's a color curriculum, which a lot of them are, which is what we want for the most part for our children, because it's engaging and it's fun and colorful. You do that, but the problem is then you go to a traditional office supply store and want to get it printed, and it's going to cost you a small fortune. Like, it far outweighs the benefits of buying the PDF. Like, it's not worth it at all. So the Family Nest Printing Company has made it affordable for families to be able to print their own curriculum and be able to do that year after year and actually have it be affordable. Not just curriculum, but other resources. They offer different thicknesses of paper, different binding options, whether you want like a laminated cover or just a vinyl cover for the books that you have printed. And it's done with love and care and with a family who knows what homeschooling is all about. And so there's a personal touch. And I just think that so often we talk about like shopping local and supporting your community. And that's nice, but sometimes it comes from a place of privilege, because the reality is when you do that, you often have to spend a lot more money. But that is not the case here. You're going to save yourself a lot of money, and you get great quality, and it's just a blessing to your homeschool. And they're blessing the homeschool community by cutting costs, but we're also blessing them by supporting their family financially. So I just think that's a really great relationship to have. The Family Nest Printing Company does specialize in custom printing. They also have a few products available. There's things like cute coffee mugs and They've got a homeschool planner and a student planner available, but really what I'm most excited about is their custom printing options. So the process is super duper simple. You can go onto their page and it gives you all the different options you need. They've got a place where you can upload your PDF. So basically, if you've got a PDF document, they can print it. So you upload your PDF, you tell them how many pages are in it, you can decide on which options you want, whether you, depending on whether you want it double-sided, color, the different paper thicknesses, and then also like if you want it bound or unbound. You can even choose whether or not you want to have it 3-hole punched, if you want to put it in like a folder. And then they will give you an estimate of how much it will cost. Now, they do have a price comparison chart on their website under their FAQs, and it is quite mind-boggling how much more expensive it is to go to a traditional office supply store and get it printed in comparison to what they offer. So they will give you your estimate there, and you can kind of play around with the options then to see what you want to go with it. What you want to go with, in regards to like pricing and all the products that you've chosen. You can also go to their help page, and they've got a lot of information on there, like for instance, what paper thickness they recommend for the type of document you want printed. They also have shipping estimates. When you go and place your order, you will get an estimate of how much it's going to cost to ship your order. And it is dependent on the size and the weight of the product. So it is going to be different for every order. They've got economy shipping options, expedited shipping options. It's all there, and I think that's just great. And they also ship internationally, which I find quite amazing because a lot of places do not do that. So if you're outside of the States, they do have that option for you. It is their busy time of the year right now. So they have their turnaround very clearly labeled on their website and also on the order form. And right now I think it's saying 2 to 4 weeks, but that does change, and they change it there for you so you can always know how long approximately it's going to take for your order to be completed and shipped out to you. So do take note of that when you are ordering from them. But honestly, the reviews on their site kind of speak for how great a company they are. It's just a small business, but I just think it's amazing that we can support a fellow homeschooling family, and they have given me a coupon code that is valid for the next 2 weeks. You just need to use the code HOMESCHOOLHOUSE, and I'll have it linked in the description below so you can go ahead and use that, and you'll get 10% off your order. Now, it expires on the 25th of August at midnight. Central Standard Time, so be aware that it does expire 2 weeks from now, but it is available for you to use during that time. So thank you so much again for sponsoring this video, Family Nest Printing. I'm thrilled to work with you, and I really hope that this blesses many other homeschool families. So buying PDFs is obviously a great way to save your money. It has saved me so much money because I live outside of the United States, and many of the curriculums that I use are based in the States, and so the shipping costs are astronomical, especially with the state of the world this year. Shipping costs have really gone up, and so it has been a huge blessing to our family financially to not have to worry about that. If I lived within the United States, I would definitely be using Family Nest Printing because I just think it is so convenient, especially if you don't want to print it yourself and have the bother of binding things and putting it together. It's all done for you, and it can be sent straight to you. However, if you're like me and you do live outside the United States and you really do want to save money on shipping, another way to do it is to print at home. It does, however, come with an initial cost outlay, and that is for an economical printer. I have the Epson EcoTank 4750. There are cheaper models that will work just as well, but I love it. I have printed like nearly 4,000 color pages in the last year, and I still haven't run out of ink. It's incredible. So I use that, and then I bind with the TrueBind S20A. Again, that's the more expensive sort of version of binding machines. You can get cheaper versions, but it works really well, like really, really well. It makes the process very quick. And then I just have a cheap laminator. I got like, I don't know, it cost me like $10 on clearance. It was really cheap, and it works perfectly fine, and I use that to laminate the covers of the books that I use. So that is another way that you can save money. However, it does, like I said, come with an initial outlay, which is why if you don't have that cash lying around, going through a company like Family Nest Printing is a really good option. Next, buy off-brand. I know that we see like all these homeschool supplies, and it's like, oh, I need this and I need that. You don't have to buy like an on-brand. Like, look for the off-brand version. totally fine. You don't have to have Crayola crayons. Find ones that are cheaper and within your budget. Make it work that way. Like, you really do not need things to be on brand all the time. I've never been somebody who buys things just because of the brand. There might be some things where I notice a quality difference, and so I'll buy for that reason, but it's never just because it's a specific brand. And I really encourage you to do the same thing. Next up is to keep it simple. You don't need all the fluff in your homeschool. I know it's nice to have the pretty things, the decorative items, the gorgeous posters on the wall, but the reality is they're not actually necessary. Keep it simple. When you don't have the cash flow, just keep it simple, because it's going to be more stressful on your family if you're stressed out about the finances. So keep it simple, add to it when you have the available funds, but don't let it stress you out. Next up is to use free curriculum. Now, there is actually a tremendous amount of free curriculum out there and available to homeschooling families. I've talked about one, which I can link the video here, and it's a free preschool curriculum. It actually does go all through the grades, and it's called Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. And like I said, I've done a video of the preschool. I will link it here for you. You can go check that out. But that is a completely free resource for you to use. I know another one is Ambleside Online, and that's a Charlotte Mason inspired curriculum. And that has got like all your lesson plans and everything on there too. So do a bit of research and look for free curriculum. I mean, it really is that simple. There's a lot of resources available to you for your homeschool without you having to fork out a ton of money for a full curriculum. Also, the Good and the Beautiful curriculum offers their language arts levels 1 through 5 for free, their PDF version for free. So you can download that for free and then go to somewhere like Family Nest Printing and have it printed through them, and it will be really affordable for you. So that's something that I would really encourage you to check out, is what free curriculums are available to you. Even Pinterest, go on Pinterest, especially for the preschool age and like early learning, elementary. You can find so many free resources on there, and you can just, put them together and create your own curriculum. It's not actually as daunting as you might think it to be. The next thing I recommend is to buy used books. Many curriculum come with like a book list recommendation, and you will spend a small fortune if you try and buy all of those books brand new. I tend to limit the number of books that we get. Like, I don't get the full book list ever because it's just huge. And I don't ever think that those book lists are like there for you to purchase every single one. They really are there for as a recommendation. So I go through and I see what books I can find secondhand. A good place to look for that is thrift books. I found lots of books on there that have been cheaper than buying them, and brand new. And they ship internationally, so that's really helpful. I think they even have free shipping in the States if your order is like over a certain amount, so that's really great. But I found it really helpful for books that are maybe like no longer in print or difficult to source. You can sometimes find them on there, and you can sign up for alerts, I think, if they're listed, and they'll alert you. So thrift books is a really great resource for that. But I also recommend using your library. I mean, oh my gosh, it's a free resource. You may not be able to find everything you need, but oftentimes, especially if it's like a unit study that you're doing with your kids, you can find a topic and just go find books. You don't have to use the books that are on the book list. Go and find books that fit the unit study that you're working on, and really utilize that, because it's free, and it's going to be like one of the best ways that you can supplement your homeschool and build up your resource library without actually having to pay anything. And better yet, you don't have to clutter up your house because you can return everything. Finally, I recommend buying used curriculum where you can. And by used, I don't mean like scribbled in and used, but things that are non-consumable. So like teacher's manuals, flashcards, things like that. Look for like a buy, sell, swap group on Facebook. For instance, I use the curriculum All About Reading with my son. It is a really pricey curriculum in comparison to many things. It's 100% worth it, and I do recommend the curriculum. It's worked very well for us. But if you can buy certain things, go ahead and purchase them secondhand. There are lots of buy, sell, swap groups on Facebook for things like that. Just insert the curriculum name you're looking for and like buy, sell, swap, or that kind of thing, a trade group, and you will often find them listed there. So that is what I recommend doing for curriculum, and also just reusing curriculum where you can. Again, with All About Reading, I've like photocopied the pages in the student activity pack so I don't have to purchase another book, because for me it's going to be like over $100 being in New Zealand. So it is well worth me just using my printer and photocopying things and just reusing stuff as I can. So there is nothing wrong with doing that. You've paid for it, use it for as many kids as you can, and just be creative. Keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to have all the books in the world. I know it's really tempting, but you don't. Another thing that I found really helpful with books is Amazon often has like books come up for free. I don't know, like they must just run promotions, and whenever I see that, I just quickly download it so it's available on my Kindle. Even if I'm not planning on reading it anytime soon, if it's a book I know that I will want to read with my kids, I'll just download it so it's there. And chapter books, I don't mind doing that with. If it's like picture books, obviously I prefer to have the physical copy, but chapter books, I don't mind just reading it from my Kindle or my phone. So that's something I recommend, and they've got a lot of their classics for free on Amazon, so do check that out. Anyway, I hope this was a helpful video to you, especially if you're just getting started with homeschooling and you're feeling a bit stressed about the financial side of it. I think we've all been there at one time or another, and it's really helpful to have social media to sort of show you what you might need for homeschooling and to give you guidance, but it can also have a downside in the sense that you feel like you need all of the resources that these homeschool accounts are sharing. And I'm just here to tell you that you really don't, Your homeschool shouldn't be about just the resources that you have. It's about the time spent with your kids and focusing on character development and inspiring a love for learning and then a discipline to learn. I feel like if you just get those two things, a love for learning and the discipline to do it, you will have succeeded in homeschooling your children. So try not to overcomplicate things and feel like you need all the fancy stuff, because you really don't. Anyway, if you have any questions for me, please go ahead and leave them down in the comments. I will leave all of the details for everything in the description below, including the discount code for Family Nest Printing. You can go and check out their website. Again, it's valid for 2 weeks from now, so make use of it, enjoy your discount, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach every